get started and get going with what I'm here for. So I've been hearing all the talks since morning, and it's very exciting. And I'm really glad that I'm doing this session right after Sundar. Sundar and I have been working together for quite a while with our dream, the ambition, and that we always have shared. I guess it is about reducing the customer acquisition cost. The talk that I believe that it is the most important phenomena that has been introduced to the whole real estate industry since last year. And the biggest thing that we realized that over a period of 2015 to 2020, when the real estate market has been going down, the customer acquisition cost, which is cost per booking for each and every developer as well as broker, was continuously on a rise. And that is where we started working, and we realized that okay, is there a need gap here? And that is where we realized that technology is going to come in and play a very important role. And that's when we went into the detail and we felt that there is such too much that's going to change in the coming time. And it was only last year during the pandemic when everything became crystal clear, where we have been seeing all these movements happening in US market, but somewhere because of the adoption that we have, which is very limited in India with regards to the realtors adopting to technologies, we have always seen a little bit of restriction in terms of how the adoption of these technologies is going to happen. So my today's agenda majorly is to take you through a very important journey that we believe that is going to transform the way customers are engaging with the realtors in the coming time, and how they're going to be seeing their homes, how they're going to be transacting with their homes, and what are the problem areas and what are the solutions that we should all aim towards working for. And because of that, I will also be looking forward to cover a phenomena where what are the areas where we still do not have technologies emerging, and those can be the need gap, or the technologies are already there and they are the perfect opportunities as of now for the investors and people like us to partner with to create a holistic solution for the whole real estate landscape. So guys, if I can have an update on the screen share, that would absolutely, Sapna. I believe it's totally out there right now in the market that we have seen a trend where food tech companies were getting funded. Then there was a trend when right now the edtech companies are the need of the hour, and they're getting the best amount of attention. And parallelly, there is a huge velocity that is going on with regards to the D2C brand. I believe this is exactly in the pandemic where people have started realizing that how PropTech can change the dynamics. And there has been a good amount of movement that has definitely started, but I see it as just a tip of an iceberg. And going forward is the next 5 to 10 years where a lot of agent tech companies which are going to be fueling the sales, and the technologies which are going to be, fueling the growth of developers as well as agents is going to be shaping the future. And they're going to be multiple $100 million valuation companies that I believe that is going to exist. So the next 5 to 10 years is something definitely which is there for India to look out for. And I'm very bullish about what's going to happen.
Not in the a short-term trend, but it's a long-term. It's going to stay.
Absolutely. PropTech, because the biggest problem that we had in India is industry was not very organized. So the investors, the VCs, they have always stayed away because of the the issues that they have seen. But now when the industry is organized, at the same time the young guys who are coming out with the solution which are actually shaping the world in the right way, and there's so much inspiration that we can draw from the western part of the world, so which serves as our POC. With that, putting all these things in context, it's a perfect stage that is already set. We just have to go and perform the best that we can. And I'm pretty sure that there's going to be great amount of excitement and funds, not from Indian VCs, but globally. There's a huge amount of attention that is already being paid to the PropTech side, because this industry is just not organized. And now when it is getting organized, the potential is just immense. It just cannot be ignored at all.
Okay, fantastic. We have more questions for you, but we'll come back on that.
Yes.
We have your presentation on this.
Thanks a lot, Prashant, for rolling in the slide. If you could just go to the second slide, and I'll start from there. So, guys, the biggest thing that I was talking about in terms of what is the current problems that are really existing. You can only make solutions and technologies when we are really aware about the problems that each and every people in the strata is facing. My expertise and forte has been the sales and marketing automation, and that's where I believe that these are the 5 most important industries which we have to work together, where a customer journey can be made more exciting when they are going towards buying a home. So customer has to interact with the channel partners. The biggest problem in the channel partners that we have really seen is so far not very organized pair were really existing. Now a few of them have started coming in and they're doing amazing. But this is just a start. We are not even at the real potential of 2% or 3% of what or where we should have been. So lack of automation and the operations, optimizations of the leads, the most important phenomena that we have still seen, the adoption of technology being low, the brokers are still not focusing a lot more on how they can actually optimize leads in the best way possible, by the lead exchange, by rotating the leads amidst their offerings. Until the time they're not shifting towards technology, with regards to whatever CRM that they are using or whatever interface they use, this is not going to be used to the most optimum level. At the same time, one of the largest problems that we have seen from the channel partner side has been about their business operation, where it is dependent upon when the developers pays the brokerage, and there's a delay. We see there's a huge opportunity in this space as well for fintech companies to pitch in and do a kind of an arrangement, which is possibly happening in other, other verticals in other sectors. But channel partners so far have to depend upon a cycle of 3 to 6 months, and that's where I see a huge innovation opportunity, which I'll be covering in the next slide as well. Moving forward to the customers, the biggest thing, as we say that the biggest problem is the visualization at the search stage itself. I'm glad that Sundar presented just right before me, and the solution that he has been working on from last 2 to 3 years. I believe that's exactly what we need, and we need more of them to come in, because the whole India has to be mapped on the 3D level, and it needs a lot many such companies, and so the possibility is very huge in that space. The second part is the location data intelligence. Nowadays, the customers are getting more and more aware about, were very conscious about the pricing that they're buying the home for. There has been a time where they have felt cheated because the whole industry was not very organized. People have just floated rates, and they have realized later that, oh, they bought the home at a higher price. People are doing much more research, and thankfully, with companies like PropEquity, PropStack, CRE Metrics, PropAMC coming in, these data are getting out to the market for people to really study, take more informed decision. But yes, a lot of Indian landscape with regards to the lands, with regards to the tier 2 and tier 3 cities, these data are still not available, and that's a huge market opportunity that I believe that is still out there for people to grab. The second part and the second lacuna, where in the customer's journey, which we really felt, is the lack of understanding on the financial side. So there are loans which are being given by the institutional banks, but the second part, where the companies like Home Capital and the bridge loan companies are coming in, the awareness with regards to the interest rates, with regards to when to switch from one loan to the another, there's a huge involvement here and possibility where fintech companies and proptech companies can work together, create calculators, create algorithms, create solutions on the UI itself, where customers can actually garner an information about what is the right time for them to step out of the current loan that they are doing to the new one, how they can optimize their loans in the best way possible, whether a subvention is better, whether a 1 year subvention is better, what exactly is a preferred possibility for them. So here I see an opportunity and the problem that we have, which can be solved with the help of fintech and proptech together. Similarly, on the developer side, the lack of automation, and glad that till since last 1 year, there has been a huge amount of progress in terms of more and more developers who are going out to acquire ERP solution, more CRM solutions, and they are working towards optimizing their own cost, and they're giving their sales mandate to the third-party companies, and that's where the cost optimization again in coming in. A developer who is not having a huge slate of project for a period of a year, it's better for them to outsource it to the other company. Now, what happens to the other company, whether it's a mandate company or channel partners coming together, the limitation that the developers have been facing with the lack of automation and technology, the same problem goes to the other side as well. And that's the other space where we believe that there's a huge amount of improvisation, and new startups can come in to solve these problems. Now, similarly, in the customer journey, one of the important phenomena that we have seen, and we have seen a few inroads like Zapkey and Prop on Square is making a backward integration into the interior design. Similarly, no broker is trying to do the same thing. So the backward and forward integration while buying a home, and the possibilities which comes along with it, with regards to the home design, interior designer, contractors, so that customers can engage with them, pretty easy, and they can be very aware about the pedigree of that vendor that they are associating with. All these things, and a possibility of a creation of a marketplace with regards to the forward and backward integration. This marketplace opportunity still lies totally open. There's no consolidation that we are seeing in this space as well. And yes, that's where I believe there's another focus area where the investments can come in if the ideas and people are working towards those possibilities. And the allied industries, even the home loan companies, we've been interacting with SBI, SDFC, ICICI, and we have really seen the acquisition cost for them also is pretty high, and there's a huge scope that it can be brought down by having the right synergies at the right places with regards to partnering with brokers, developers, and maybe the allied industries as well. And together, this whole ecosystem coming in together as a marketplace has a great opportunity to solve a lot of problem in the coming time. The similar issue is with the financial institutions, which I have covered. When we engage with SBI Home Loans, we realize that they are relying somewhere about it's about on the number of homes being booked and how much target that they can actually fill with regards to their home loan book being bloated with the right set of customers, and they are continuously in the lookout for engaging with such customers, and that's a space where all these marketplaces can come together and help each other. Prashant, if you could help me with the next slide. So these are the problem statement that I spoke of. The next important thing is, how do you solve this problem? And so somewhere we believe that over a period of time, the problems are there, solutions are also going to be there. And when these things are going to happen, that's where the PropTech industry in India is going to shape up in a very different manner than how we have seen in Western side. Of course, there will be a streak, which will be common to what is happening in the Western side. But in India, there are many indigenous issues, very indigenous solutions that we can come out with, and the problems which are very local, which has to be solved with technology and which can be solved with technologies. And in doing that and in that journey, we will be having a solution which will be standing very differently. So the solution that we believe that is going to have in the coming time is the sales part, which is how a channel partner is conducting a sale, how they're managing their site operations. Are you still putting your data into those papers and Excel sheets, or you are automating that part as well? How are you recording those interactions for the future usage? And the next part is the customer engagement and experience. So a developer, after radar has come in, we have really seen that when the consolidation is happening, the future markets are going to be about a lot focus on the customer experience. The overall the customer asset value, what we call in terms of in a lifespan, if a customer is going to buy 3 homes or 2 homes, if it can be with the same brand, something that we have seen with Oberoi's, utilizing in the best way possible, where they have really focused a lot on customer experience, and similar kind of behavioral pattern we have observed for Hiranandani as well. Now, these are the possibilities of the future where the other brands which are operating in this space, they can do a lot more, and the technology companies can come in, fill in this gap, with the help of technology, by engaging customers at the right time, giving them the experiences which really would create a long-lasting bonds with them. That's where a possibility of consolidation really exists, which is followed by the virtual site management. Fortunately, Sundar just covered the same thing, making sure that each and every home is available on online for people to surf. We have really seen a new trend where people who used to go for 15 homes for personal site visits, now they're just going for 5 and 10. 5 and other 5 are getting shortlisted only on the Zoom level, only on the online level. Now the Zoom as a platform is not providing the developers or realtors any data. And that's where we need to evolve technologies which can give the data of those engagements and interactions as well. So that's one funnel. The second funnel, I believe, is the marketing side of it, where I have a small showcase and case study in the following slide. But the real scope is the media mix that is being created. We literally have seen that each and every time a developer is creating a media mix, they are going about making a gut-driven call. And if the outdoor has to be selected or newspaper ad has to be selected, it's all gut-driven. The data is not really fueling these calls. And if the data is even fueling the call, the way they are going about reading the data is not always apt. Based on our engagement with more than 100 developers, and so far we have managed more than 150 CR of media, for the real estate developers, and we have literally seen it's the lack of data understanding, how the data has to be iterated. There's a huge scope where automation can come in, so that this job can become easy, because we do not expect every marketing guy and the sales guys to be a data analyst or a data scientist to make the right judgment out of it. And that's where the automation can play a very important role. The second part, when you're making a marketing related calls, the historical data with regards to the data intelligence for the location, with regards to what has happened in the last 5 years, where the customers have come from. Now, these data are not usually being read. Even if they are being read, they're not being applied when these media mixes are being created. And that's where I see that, again, an automation in this space has a future. The companies operating in this space has an opportunity as well. The next thing, which is yet to take up very big in India, I believe it's going to be huge. It's the transaction management. A few startups, few companies have made their inroads and started. But with the digitization coming in India in the future, that's a great opportunity that lies ahead, where how the seamlessly a customer can actually make the property registration online, and all the contracts that are being submitted between the rent guys, between the homeowners and secondary market, they can be made online, and all the edits can happen together between the customer and the seller, and the possibility of engagement and possibility of easiness in terms of with the help of digitization in the transaction side. It's a huge market that's waiting to be explored. Similarly, on the operations side, the CRM and ERP somewhere have been a 20 years old phenomena. With technology evolving, the CRM is just not going to do the right job what it was meant for. So the developers have to scout for opportunities where the new technologies are being imbibed. How do you ensure the solution that is there in the visual site management gets to the dashboard, and the data that comes there, it's all makes sense together? Because today the data is lying in silos somewhere, and if they're going to be lying in silos, you will never be able to take any benefit of it. The idea is how all the data can come together from the ERP, from the CRM, sits at the data warehouse. And that's what this slide is trying to showcase to you, that the sales funnel, the marketing funnel, all these important data points, they come together, they get stitched against each and every customer. A customer who stopped at the site and then later on bought the home, and after buying the home 10 years down the line also, whatever that he's doing and engaging with the brand, can all these things can be mapped together? If it is going to happen, because as I said, that's where we will be in a position where we'll be able to bring down the acquisition cost, because at that point of time, with the help of technology, we are really mapping each and every parameter with regards to the customer, and ensuring that at no point of time we are losing touch with them, and the cost of reaching out to the same customer again and again is always avoided. So in the basic nutshell, the operations of the team, the transaction management, the sales and the marketing team, if all these data with regards to the customers can come together, sits as a data warehouse where, with the help of AI and ML, we can do, write the right algorithms, which is ensuring that the lead management is happening at the optimum. The cloud telephony interfaces are helping us to understand the customers a little better. The media mapping and the media mix are, being optimized as well. With the help of that, we can create insights with the help of marketing mix modeling or multiple variable regression. We can create insights, which is going to always help us create more automation in workflow, more automation in our day-to-day operation, and ensure that we have a very reduced customer acquisition cost in the long run. So that's the huge market that we believe that is still out there to be explored. And PropTech, on the sales and marketing side, there's so many opportunities that lies. The future is going to be with the one who can build most of these things together, put it out at one place, and get all these data together at one point. It can happen with the help of partnering with companies in the PropTech domain, where we can have open API share access, where all these APIs can talk to each other, so that all this data comes to one place, and the system try to makes the best sense out of it. Prashant, if you could just help me with the next slide. So just give you an example that into the marketing mix domain, we have a product called Marketing Signal, which we recently launched, which was into a pilot in the last 1 year, where we have tried to track the digital spends of the brands like Hiranandani, Ki Raheja, and many more. We realized that eventually in a digital marketing campaign that we are running online, there are 22 variables which are really affecting a particular campaign, which could be the time of the campaign, which could be location, price, offer, visual, color, brand. It can be the festive season. So there are 22 variables which are affecting this campaign. We ran all this data via the 100 crore campaign budgets that we were spending via different mediums for different brands that we are working with. And eventually we realized out of these 22 variables, there are 6 variables which are having the 80% impact in terms of the overall trend of overall campaign health, and how the costs were going up and down. And that's where we focus upon these 6 variables. And now we are able to bring down the customer acquisition cost by understanding these parameters, that how a communication or visual is working, how a campaign price, what should we float out, that is really going to help us brought down our cost per lead. With the help of these solutions, we are able to now, we have delivered in last 1 year new acquisition cost. We have brought down from 2.3% average of the clients to almost 1.4%. And one of the most important thing why we call it marketing signal, all the historical data the system is able to read, and it's able to pull out the signals and nudges to the realtors, to the marketeers, to help them in an automated manner. Where should they put their 1 lakh? Where should they put the next 2 lakh that they're going to spend on digital or on outdoor? So that's one automation that we have tried to explore from our end, where we really believe that we are able to bring down the customer acquisition cost by optimizing the media mix. So with this, I guess that is what I wanted to conclude today and put out to all of you, that the possibilities that are going to be there from technology point of view, I believe it's a very exciting time that we are entering in. And I don't think I would have been born in a better time zone and working in a prop tech, in a real estate industry. So that's pretty much it from my end, guys. Sapna, I'm totally open if in case you have any Q&A. I hope I wrapped it up in time.
Yes, you did very much. And one question that I would like to take is, we have not many, but we'll just take one.
Sure.
What, according to you, will shape up prop tech in 2021 and beyond?
See, with regards to technologies, there are so many things, with regards to construction, with regards to the data, with regards to the automation, which I just covered in sales and automation. But one thing that would really shape up the Indian real estate prop tech industry, I believe, is the open mind, the behavioral patterns, the change in the behavioral patterns of the realtors. They have to become much, much, much open than what they are. And technology is a thing where, using a WhatsApp, you may feel that, okay, I understand it. Or, using some tool, you believe that you can understand it. But we got to be much more open, because the known, known is a drop, unknown is an ocean. And we have to keep that thing in our mind that, there's so much that's going to happen and it's so exciting. We just have to adapt to it and be open to the changes that is coming in time. So that's one thing that's going to shape us.
You summed it very accurately. What is known is just a drop and what is unknown is an ocean. So, we just need to open up our minds.
Absolutely.
And it's great that our next speaker is a developer. So we'll take that to him in our next session.
Absolutely.
But thank you so much for sharing those, your views and opinions, and sharing that, what is happening, where the problems lie, what's the solution, and how we can all, as stakeholders, whether it's the developer or the tech company or the consumer, can do this journey together. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
Thanks a lot, Sapna. You guys are doing a
Thanks,
fabulous
Govind.
job. These dialogues are very much needed because we are just making technologies, but till the time we do not have more and more people accepting it or trying it, maybe we fail, maybe we succeed, but we need to try things together. And thanks a lot for creating such forum.
Let's have the conversations going. So thank you so much, Govind, for being here with us today.
Thanks a lot, Sapna, for the opportunity. See you.